The biggest mistake that people make with radio on Vatsim is the thought that they need to sound like an airline captain. You don't. ATC is not judging your accent. They're not waiting for you to fail. They're listening for clarity, timing, and intent. And if you can say the right information at the right time and in the right order, you're already better than 80% of the pilots that fly on the Vatsim network. And that is what we're going to fix today. Now, before we do that, a quick note. If your goal is not just to sound better, but to actually master Vatsim, from radio telephony to full flights with confidence, that is exactly why I built Vatsim Mastery. Inside, you get 28 structured video modules, 3 full real-world style flight breakdowns, and access to 2 real-world pilot mentors who guide you through how this actually works in practice. If you want to perfect your RT and learn Vatsim the right way from the ground up, the first link in the description is where to get started. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here's the golden rule of radio telephony on Vatsim. ATC should never have to guess what you want. Every good transmission answers these 3 questions: who you are, where you are, and finally, what you want. And that's it. If you ever freeze on the radio, it's because one of those 3 things were missing from your call. Now, let's take a simple example to demonstrate those 3 things in practice. Heathrow grounds, Fibid 123, request taxi. Notice how clean that is. There's no filler, there's no panic, and there's no extra words. And here's the key, this format never changes, whether you're in a Cessna or an A320. Most Vatsim pilots struggle with RT for one simple reason: they try to improvise. Radio telephony is not improv. It's more like a checklist that you speak out loud. And that is why confident pilots sound relaxed, because they already know what they're about to say before they press the push to talk button. So here's a practical habit that you can implement straight away that automatically improves your radio telephony. You need to plan your next call before you need to say it. If you're taxiing, you already know that you'll need taxi instructions. And if you're approaching the runway, you already know that you're going to be calling ready for departure. So plan your calls accordingly. If you're reacting instead of anticipating, the radio is always going to feel stressful. Now let's talk about timing, because this is where most pilots fall apart. Perfect RT isn't just about what you say, it's about when you say it. And I have 2 rules for you that are going to make sure that you never fall apart. Number 1, never speak over somebody else. And number 2, never rush your transmissions. If the frequency is busy, wait. There is absolutely no penalty for silence. ATC would much rather you wait 5 seconds than block the frequency with a rushed and messy call. Calm pilots don't talk more, they talk less, and they talk at the right moment. Now, let me let you in on a bit of a secret. Confidence on the radio is not about experience, it's about pace. As per the CAA and ICAO standards, you're recommended to communicate at a pace of 100 words per minute. When you first start making transmissions on the network, you should speak slightly slower than what feels natural, just to familiarize yourself with speaking on a live and active frequency. You should also make sure that you pause for half a second before you press the button. And that pause does 2 things. It gives your brain time to structure the call, and it makes you instantly sound more professional. You don't need a radio voice. You need clear words, a steady pace, and no filler. Now let's kill a few bad habits. If you say you over-explain, add unnecessary words to your transmissions, a quick and simple fix to make you sound more understandable on the radio is to cut those filler words out. ATC doesn't need your life story, they need the bare minimum. They need the minimum information required to move traffic safely. And most importantly, if you mess up, correct it and move on, because nobody cares. Every confident Vatsim pilot that you hear on the network has messed up at some point. They just didn't quit, and that is why they can communicate on the radio in the way that they can today. And very soon you will be able to communicate in the same way as well. Now, here is how you're actually going to practice your radio telephony properly. You're going to listen before you talk. Connect up to the Vatsim network and tune into an active frequency as an observer, and just listen, because you'll start hearing patterns immediately. You should also focus on copying structure rather than words. Don't memorize scripts, because conditions can change. Memorize formats instead. And finally, fly shorter and simpler flights into quieter aerodromes. Your RT is going to improve significantly faster flying into smaller aerodromes with less traffic, because with a lower workload, you're giving your brain time to react. impact. And this is exactly how we teach within Vatsim Mastery. We give you controlled environments first and then look at realism later. And this is why having real-world pilot mentors matters. They don't just tell you what to say, they explain why ATC expects it and how to adapt when things change. So if you're serious about sounding confident and actually enjoying Vatsim instead of fearing it, Vatsim Mastery is built just for you. Here's the final mindset shift that I want you to take away from this video. Radio telephony is not a test, and it exists to help you. Once you stop trying to be perfect and start trying to be clear, everything clicks. Every great Vatsim pilot started exactly where you are today. The only difference is they stayed on the frequency. If this helped you, make sure to subscribe. And if you're ready to actually master Vatsim from your first clearance to shut down at your destination gate, check out Vatsim Mastery in the description. And that's all. Safe flights, as always.